Hello YouTube, we're going to talk today about Marvel Dice Throne. If you haven't had a chance to check out this game, it's excellent. I'm going to go a little bit about the components, kind of give you a review, a few of the rules, and then hopefully that'll be about it. Marvel Dice Throne is a great game. It's a dice game, of course. It's very similar to like a Yahtzee almost, where you're trying to get combos, but they're based on each character that plays. If you're not familiar with the brand Roxley, you should. One of the first games I played by Roxley was Radlands. I didn't get on the Kickstarter campaign, but I did. I did join a late pledge off of their website and got a limited edition, one of their first versions before they hit retail. The same went true with Dice Throne. So I got Dice Throne before a lot of the people that pre-ordered it got it. Just for the fact that I was on the very tail end of it and I was in the part where we're just getting shipping going. But needless to say, I'm going to talk a little bit about Marvel Dice Throne. This is one of my favorite games because it's so easy to learn. It's got great mechanics. The components are really nice. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the whole thing. If you're not familiar with the Dice Throne, there's two other seasons. They have season 1 and season 2. And they have great characters that Dice Throne has actually made, Roxley. That they've actually made their own characters and stuff. These just favor the Marvel characters. So overall, the box is very nice. So I think, and I'll look this up just to be precise here, but yeah, it's $109 plus shipping for this one. You can buy it currently, so go on their website. It's just shop.dicethrone.com, and you can be able to buy the game if you do decide you like it. There's a lot of great things about this game. I'm going to go into a little bit of it. The art's beautiful. That's one of the main things. It's very easy to learn. If you've played Yahtzee, you're very familiar with it. I'm a sucker for organization, and this game has great organization on it. It has each character is in its own little case here. I don't know if you can see that really well with the glare, but each character is in its own little case. What's great about that is each person gets their own little play mat, and they have a dice catcher, which is like if you use any kind of like dice bag or a dice tower or whatever. Each person has one of these. They have like just a lid. You just throw your dice right in the middle of the lid, and you don't have to buy anything crazy or do anything special. What's unique about this game is the way you play, where you roll your die and you play the game. So it's very unique in the element that it's driven by actions based on your dice rolls versus like cards or worker placement or any of those different variants in board games. So each character has a play mat. We'll see if I can get this a little bit better. Let me get a little closer to you too. Each character has a placemat, and on that placemat shows different little mechanics and things that you can do. For example, for Black Widow here, if you roll these on the dice, they do damage. Let me get a little bit closer. You see that? Yeah. These will show that they'll do damage. So it's all based on luck. It's a little bit of skill, and there's actually cards that go with the game. So if you've played Magic, you're very familiar with kind of the principle of how it's set up. You know, you've got upkeep phases, draw phases, you got main phase, you got actions that happen during the roll phase, which are like instant cards in Magic, if you're familiar with that. Then you have some great little effects that happen with your character, and each character is themed based on that character in the Marvel campaign. So, for example, this one is a passive effect. It says, beginning the game with 3 covert op tokens. If you're like, what's a covert op token? Well, what's great about all these is it has all the rules and all the things are in each set. So if you have a rookie player, they have cards like turn orders and things of that nature that show you exactly. see if I can get it a little closer. They show you exactly the turn order and what steps you need to do as you're going through the game, which is really great. It's great to have reference cards and things like that. It talks about the timing of different abilities that are on the card. The icons make it really easy for people to do. They did a great job. Roxy did a great job in designing the elements, not only the pictures and things, but each character of this is just suited just like a Marvel character. If you watch a TV show or something, so for example, Black Widow, she has Covert Ops, which allows her to play upgrade cards, which I'm about to get into that here in a second when I explain the cards. It allows her to do upgrade cards during her main phase, once free during her main phase, and you start with 3, pretty sure. Yeah, you start the game with 3 with her passive ability. And then agility is really cool because you can roll a dice and receive yeah, so if you roll 1 through 3 on the dice, you prevent half the incoming damage. I just want to make sure before I told you wrong. The agility is really good, and I've got a little secret I'm going to tell you at the end, just because I've played it about 10, 15 times now, and I've got a little idea of how everything works. Time Bomb's a special ability that this character has. Basically, you give a ticking time bomb to a player at their upkeep. They roll a dice. If they don't get 1, it flips over, and after it flips over to 0, which would be after the 001, they'll receive 4 undefendable damage. So there's defendable and then there's undefendable. Get a little closer. That symbol means that it is not defendable. So undefendable damage. That means you can't do a defensive roll against them and do damage to them or anything like that. It's usually around special abilities you get all that. What's really cool is each character has a set of dice that are based on their some actions that they might have. Black Widow's, which is the 6th, the hardest. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 being the hardest is our logo, the Widow. It's the hardest one to roll. I think the odds were 1 in 1,024 to get all 5 dice matching that at the beginning roll. So it's very, very hard to get that roll. But there's cards that manipulate that, which is really good. There can be a defensive or aggressive roll for those to change them. As you can see, 1 and 2 is slightly better outcomes, and then the batons here, 3, 4, and 5, that's better. So that's why when you see these on their cards, most of these actions that are in the top left do very minimal damage, but it's very, very good odds of getting that. Now you've got all these different things. These are all different abilities and stuff, and I won't go through too much of it. I'll just show you some outcomes and show you kind of like what one turn looks like, and that should get you kind of started if you're getting into Dice Throne or you have Marvel and you don't know how to play it. This is a great video for that. But I'm going to kind of show you based on that. Each character has an ultimate roll, which is really nice. This one's Widow's Bite. I'm going to read it to you real quick. It says, search your deck for up to 2 ability upgrades, put them into play, and then shuffle your deck, inflict Time Bomb, deal 10 undefendable damage. So that's a really good. That's their ultimate ability. It's the hardest one to do, but like I said, you can manipulate dice in order to do that. The defensive roll is if you're getting attacked and the damage is defendable, which means that the logo or the little icon here will show. Get this glare off of you. Sorry. The little logo will show right there that it is defendable damage, which means that you can do your defensive roll anytime you get hit with that. All right, so I'm going to go into one of the turns, kind of show you the mechanics of it, show you some of the components of it, and then that's about it. It's a very easy game to play. I think you start off with 20 health, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check that. Pretty sure it's 20. If you're playing 2-player, I think it's 30 if you're playing multiple. But you basically just have like your health points. And there's all themed. All their components are themed. So you start at 20, and I'll show you. I'll be example if I'm fighting 2 Black Widows. I'll do that as an example. Your combat points is how you use your cards in the game. Some cards cost so much combat point. You get 1 combat point per turn, but you also gain another combat point by discarding cards if you don't need them. And then let me pull some of the cards out here so you can kind of see some of that. I'll show you some of the cool little dice. Each character has themed dice, which is really neat. As you can see here, see if it'll load on there. There we go. Each character has unique dice here. And there's, like I was saying earlier, there's a 6 right there, which is our hardest one to get. You got 4, which is basically 3 out of 5 chance. You got the little eye here. Spy eye, that's what I call it. There's 2 out of 6, 2 out of 5 chance, and then of course 1. So when your turn goes, when you start your turn, you have an upkeep phase. This is where I was telling you it's a lot like Magic. You have an upkeep phase. You resolve applicable status effects. So like I was telling you, some are unique status effects, which are based on the character. Some are positive status effects, and some are negative status effects. So if it's a unique status effect, you usually want that on your character. So there's a lot of different characters in this game, and I'll go briefly on all of the different characters in case you're looking at buying certain characters and not the whole box, which I highly suggest you buy the whole box. Agility, which is right there, it says a positive status effect. Those are what you want. Now, some people can take your effects, and it triggers off of what your card says and everything, but that's a positive status effect. And the last one's a negative. A negative is something you don't want. Now, if you see here on the side too, it says stack limit. That means you can only put 2 of those on a character or a person that's playing. If you need any kind of rule clarifications for the character, on the back part of their card, it talks about the different rules that you can, that you can get into. It tells you transferring time bombs, It tells you how complex the character is. This is a really cool mechanic that they've added on here. If you're new to the game, you might want to start with 1, and I'll show you Thor just for example. It tells you the weapon of choice, gives you a little information about the character, and it tells you all the components on the very bottom, which is great at the cleanup to make sure you have all your components. So let's do an example of a roll. Use the top tray, unless you have a catcher. I forget what they're called, a dice catcher or whatever they're called. I've got like 300 of them here. I don't even know what they're called. A dice tray. There we go. Dice tray. So you could use a dice tray or whatever, but I just use the top of them. It comes with the case or whatever, so you use them. It's really neat. You get a roll. By the way, it's just like Yahtzee. You get three rolls. You'll get your initial. You can take dice out of it, or you can keep them, and it just depends on your roll. So I usually do my initial roll, and if you see right here, I rolled. If you'll load. Nope, there it goes. I rolled all batons. So if you look on the dice, there's numbers as well. So I've got a 3, 4, 4, 5, and a 4. So there's nothing for getting multiple of the same number, but you can get large and small straights, which do combos. So after my initial roll, I might want to look onto my player board and look for combos that have that. If you see here, this first one, which is the baton strike, since I rolled 5 right there, I've already got that combo. I can deal 7 damage to any player. If you're playing 2 players, it's pretty easy. You attack your opponent. If you're playing King of the Hill, which is like with multiple people, it's usually the person with the highest health points, and you receive a card for doing them damage as a favor, kind of, when you do it. But since I've already rolled this, might as well do it. You also can look at the rest of your whole entire board, but just playing this game so much, if I get something like that right off the bat, I just go ahead and do it. So let's say I damage, I go ahead and damage Thor, and Thor's at 20. You'd bring his spin down. 7. Now, like I said, they might have a defensive role that plays in a factor there, or card in their hand that does stuff. So we're going to do an example like Thor's defensive role would be this one, which is sabotage. So Thor would roll 3 dice, because there's 3 little dice spots here. 1, 2, 3. And it says defensive roll 3. Try to get that glare off. So he would roll 3, and I rolled 2 eyes and a nunchuck. So you look back on this thing and you look, and it says deal 1 undefendable damage, because the red means undefendable, for each nunchuck. So that's 2. That I only rolled 1 of those. So Thor would do 1 damage to me, so I'd go down to 19. And then it says for each eye you get to prevent 2 damage. So instead of taking 7, I would have took 5 as Thor, so he would be at 15. You would go on your little health thing and then drop it down to 15. Dun, 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 dun. Got to make the noise so people know what's going on. So you're down to 15. And that's a turn. You basically did your attack, your roll phase and everything. I'll go back to this card. Your main phase, this is where your cards come into effect. Kind of got ahead of myself. Didn't tell you about the main phase, which is pretty important. In any of these cards that say, and I've got little sleeves on them, sorry. Any of these cards that say M there, and like I said, on the back, it tells you exactly what the timing is. See that M? It tells you can only play that during a main phase unless a card says otherwise or a status effect says otherwise. So right there on the left, it says CP, 2 CP, and it costs 2 combat points to basically play this card, but you can only play during main phase. It says what status effect. Let's say you had a negative status effect on your character. You could do this card, and it says remove all static effect tokens from chosen player. This is excellent. Sorry, didn't mean to hit it. This is an excellent card if you're playing against Black Panther because it removes all status effect tokens. The thing about Black Panther, and I'm going to show you some of their stuff here real quick. But Black Panther's ability, he has the Vibranium suit, and I'm sorry if you're a Marvel fan out there. I don't have all the time to get all the vocabulary right or follow each character. I know there's a lot of people out there that are big Marvel fans, and I'm sorry for advance. I'm just going to be very simplistic on the explanations of their stuff. But his suit that he has that gets kinetic energy, and you get tokens. And after so many tokens on his suit, it detonates basically and deals damage, undefendable damage to whoever. So if he's about to detonate and you got this card, and you remove all those status effects, you basically negate his ability. So there's a lot of good trickery and a lot of good cards in here. There's like one like this one that allows you to transfer a status effect token. Could be positive, could be negative from one player to the other. Then you have these guys, which are only during the roll phase. So like I was telling you, there's actions where you can manipulate the dice. Let's say I got really close and I had, which is awesome. Let's say I had 4 Black Widows ultimate there, the Widow. And I rolled one that's not 6, right? This card says you or chosen teammate, if you're playing teams, it says may reroll up to 2 dice. So that's pretty good. You might get a chance and boom, there you go. You got the ultimate. You got the last one that you needed right there. And you got your ultimate ability. So these are really great. But remember, people can play these too because it says roll phase actions. So this is a good one right here. It's basically a chosen player prevents 6 incoming damage. Even if it's undefendable damage, which is the red, you can still defend it. You just don't get a defense roll. I found that out on the forums, and I highly suggest you do that. It's a little complicated when you do. So each one is a cool little thing. Like this one right here costs 0 combat points, but it gains you 2 combat points. That's just awesome. And then each character sometimes has a special card in here that's only for that character, doing time bomb and stuff like that. So there's a lot of great cards in here. Like you can increase or decrease the value of a die by 1. So if you're at 5, you can roll it up to 6 and get that ultimate. There's just a lot of great little things going on in the game. But you can do these only during the action turn of what it says on the card. And you have to have combat points. You can't play it for nothing. So main phase, you'd play ability upgrades. You'd play main phase action cards. Trying to get a little closer. Main phase action cards. You'll sell cards and gain 1 CP. And then you go to offensive roll phase, targeting roll phase. And then defensive roll phase. Your opponent takes 1 defensive roll. And then the main phase, which is after it. Let's say you want to upgrade. And there's cards where you can upgrade abilities. Let me try to find that. What it looks like. Haha. So in the game later on, you can upgrade these abilities, and this is what the card looks like, to make your rolls better. So this one is Infiltrate 2. So you go on your thing here and you find Infiltrate, which is right there. Get a little closer. See it? And then it says da 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 da. And you get these. Well, when you upgrade it, look there. Now you got Spy Game on the bottom of it. So it makes the card even better. there's a chance to get even better rewards on it, and the basic actions, they get increased. So it's really neat. It's a lot of strategy in it. It's just all about rolling dice and being lucky. The last one is your discard. You can't have more than 6, so you sell all your cards down to 6. That's a big one. It's the first one to basically get down to kill the other players, to make their health down to 0. They win. I'm going to show you a few of the characters now, and then kind of talk about them a little bit more. There's some really good stuff online. If you go and you check out Dice Throne online, you can find some really good thing that community people have done. They're talking about, like, they do these little spine. They have a little piece of you can cut them out of paper, but they show a little like spine on there instead of you having to pull them out. The great thing about this game is it's on the side, and it's really nice. They got Dice Throne. Oh, let's see if I can get to zoom in here. There it is. They've got Dice Throne all the way down, which is really neat, little detail. And you have the pictures of all the characters in the battle box, I think they call it. Like I said, you can buy you can do all the characters. You can buy just 1 or 2. You know, it's all up to you. We went over Black Widow. I'm going to show you Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is one of the hardest. Let me put all these things over here. Oh, by the way, if you get a chance, get all these promo cards or mythic cards, because they add a great little detail to it. I'm not going to go too much into it. You can go on their website and look onto it, but they're really nice. It's a really good little thing to change, especially when you're playing multiple players. It makes it a little more excitement. Doctor Strange, really cool. He actually plays spells. He has the book, and I don't want to say the names, like I said, but he has these books and stuff, and it's his passive, and he gets to play spells for free every turn from his deck. He has all these really cool things, and like I said, they're all based on the characters. Like the All-Seeing Eye does special abilities, and then like Cloak and Levitation, you know, all of them are themed on it. Doctor Strange is one of the harder of, I think, of all the Marvel characters to play. He's 5 on the complexity scale. The only one left is 6. I haven't seen that, and I think there might be a 6 in this one. I have to double check. Maybe not. Maybe Scarlet Witch. But it talks about a little bit of the rules on here about Doctor Strange. It has his status effects and things like that. Their spells. They got the Crimson Bands. You got the premonitation, I think. Sorry. And Deja Vu. So they're all really cool. Like I said, positives are good for the player, negatives are bad for a player, and then they have some only character specific or specialized or unique status effects there for that other character. It's really cool. Like I told you, everything is based on it. They don't give you any standees, or I didn't get them, so I don't know where that is. But there's the Doctor Strange, in case you wanted to play as a character. I think they should have came with standees, or I just didn't get them. So Roxley, if you're listening to me, I need my standees. So I'll have to double check that the components and stuff are it. But here's his dice. So they're like kind of a brown color. Let me get one. Yep, they're like a brown color, and they've got the book, got the cloak on there, got the All-Seeing Eye, got the whatever stone that is. Forget, sorry. Is it the Life Stone or the Time Stone? That's it, Time Stone. I'd watch the movie, you'd think I know. So that's what's cool about this game. There's so much cool mechanics in it, and so little, call outs to the characters and things like that. And everything just fits right back into a nice little organized box. And you throw it in there for the next player. So my team, my play group, we go through and we play different characters, and then my favorite is Black Widow. It's not because of some reasons, it's not because of some reasons, but it's because her abilities are really good. I've actually won the game multiple times with her time bombs, or got sent the time bombs and died, but the time bombs went off and killed it. We got Miles Morales for Spider-Man. He's really good. I'm going to talk a little bit about Miles real quick about it, if in case. Not only does he have like cool actions and you get all the basics and stuff where you're doing damage, he has things where you get extra combos. Here, let me go over his little features down here. his complexity is 2, by the way. If you're playing with someone that's a little younger or doesn't really know the game and they need an easy one, they have combo, which is a positive status effect. You can perform another offensive roll phase. So what the heck? You get 2 turns basically, and what is this? So there's a lot of great things that combo off of things. So when I see that Spider-Man has combo and I'm playing Scarlet Witch, I might manipulate one of Spider-Man's dice to where he's using one of my dice, so it doesn't trigger almost a third of his board. So he can only do actions that are 4 dice instead of the 5 action cards, which is very annoying. And it does it for the whole turn. So if he's doing his combo, he has it for the whole turn. So it's very annoying when you're doing that. We have webbed, which is negative status effect. Next incoming attack is undefendable. So if he webbed and you know the next player that's going to attack him is going to be doing 12 damage to him or something crazy, but it's defendable, well, now it's undefendable. So that's really strong. Invisibility, your roll defense against an undefendable attack. So normally you can't roll against it. Well, there's things that do it, and it makes it a little more complicated. But invisibility is a great one to have. So I was just reading one more thing on it. They're really good. The cards and stuff are great. The dice for Spider-Man are blue with the different little icons on it. There's like a web. There's a web slinger, I guess. The web. And then you got Spider. So he has some really good effects. Spider-Man's very good. He comes from nowhere. I'll tell you that. Spider-Man always comes from nowhere, deals some damage. And you're like, what the heck, Spider-Man? Captain Marvel, this is a great, if you're playing multiple people or teams, Captain Marvel is the bomb. Let me tell you that. She's got one thing, her artwork's like awesome. Check that out. Whoa. She does a lot of different things, which is a lot of team building things. I kind of will go into it, but she deals damage. She does cosmic rays and things that kind of deal a little more stuff. I'm going to talk about that. As you can see, I'm always going to these status effects, which they mean something. So a cosmic ray, she rolls two dice and picks 1 for damage bonuses. So let me read it real quick. After attacking a player with this token, may spend it and roll 2 die, then choose one of the 2 die and add that value of the die to the damage total, which is crazy. So if you're doing 7, you roll 2, you can add, choose one of the 2 die. Let's say you have 6, so you do 13 damage with Cosmic Ray. Crazy. The Cosmic Flare, she deals 1 undefendable damage per token to all opponents. So let's say old Bristle Britches over here, Black Panther, he's got 7 things on him. Well, guess what? You did 7 damage to Cosmic Ray on all the characters, which most of the characters have some sort of status effect and they're working. He just has a bunch. Thor gets a little bit crazy too, so it's really good when you're playing team. Pick her when you're playing against a lot of people. If you're playing a game of 6, like King of the Hill, with 6 people, which is crazy, you get ready to spend 2 hours in that game. By the way, if you're playing 2-player, it's probably about 30 minutes. If you're playing like maybe 3 or 4, add about 15 to 30 minutes based on their play style for each person and how fast they are. If they're all pros, you probably can knock out in 30 minutes, with 6 people, but you got to be quick. So, but it's usually about 30 minutes, and that's probably what they have on the box. I'll have to look at it here in a second, but the last one's Radiance for her. She can change a die to a 6 during defense rolls, which is good. And if you look at her defense roll, it's probably pretty good. I don't know it. I don't have it memorized, but right there it says for every, which is this symbol, she gets to prevent damage or deal damage. Oh, she gets to do both. Sorry. She gets to roll 4 die, and then she gets to do that ability. She gets to do that ability for both of those. So that's really good. And I'll tell you my secret now, since you're watching and you're committed to the game and this review for it. The secret is always build upon your character's special ability. So they have special abilities. Always do defensive things first before being aggressive. Any kind of like King of the Hill kind of thing, or anything like that. It just helps. It helps do it. And I'll show you on some of these. We're getting close to, some of the defense guys, but I'll explain that here in a situation in a few of the characters. So she has yellow dice, and they have like a kind of a sun color, which is very unique. That she has all of her different abilities on here, or her status effects. The Halo Star, like I said. So sorry for all you Marvel people that are like, what the heck, man? That's not what it's called. It's not what it's called. I know. I need to do more research into Captain Marvel. There's in Marvel in general, but there's just so much time, so much stuff. I'm going to show you Black Panther. So someone switched my Black Panther out. Who's this doing that? Probably laughing at me right now too. Black Panther is an easy character to play, I think, and he's really good. Complexity is 2. If you see right here, complexity on the die right there, boop, 2, easy. What's really cool, he's got his suit that detonates, deals damage to people. When he gets like, I think 8. Oh, sorry, not the suit. The kinetic energy does that. Stack limit's 8. It says, upon reaching kinetic energy stack limit, which is 8, immediately remove all of them, gain 2 CP, draw 2 cards, and deal 5 undefendable damage to a chosen opponent as an isolated source of undefendable damage. So he's really good. Don't tick him off. Like I said, there's cards that remove all that, and that's how you can deal with Black Panther as you play. There's like all these little things. Vibranium suit. It's really cool. Remember I was telling you need to get your defense up when you play? This is really cool because it prevents incoming damage. A player with this token may spend it to prevent 3 incoming damage. This token may not be transferred by any means, but can be removed. So it says player with this token may spend it to prevent 3 incoming damage. So let's say at 3 damage is pretty good. Go ahead and use that, you know, especially if you roll it. Black Panther's really good. He's got little kitty cat for his ultimate, and what's better than Black Panther saying Wakanda forever? So you just say Wakanda, and you ultimately win the game. He does 11 undefendable damage for his ultimate. 11, and then you get the suit, and you get 3 kinetic energy. It's just crazy. He's broken. He's broken, man. He's broken. So you get all these little cool things. Now, I didn't really talk about it, but the small straight and a large straight, that's what this is right here. So a large straight is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another one is like 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just a small. So if you roll that, be careful. Watch your die. Watch your die for numbers, because you might get the perfect. And then if you don't get all 5, you've got these. See how you get 5? When you get close to these, always look every time you roll, because you can re-roll 3 times. You get roll once and then 2 re-rolls. And you can take out die or re-roll them if you wanted to, but just take your time when you're playing characters and how you're rolling, because you might have a combo and you didn't even see it. A lot of people miss the straights. I try to be helpful and tell people when they have stuff, because not a lot of people play it a lot. But you kind of want to help people, and it just makes a better game. You don't pull away and get everything crazy. Scarlet Witch, she's so good. She's one of my favorite too. Scarlet Witch is all about manipulation, of course, because that's how she is in the whole entire series. When you watch Scarlet Witch stuff, it's just really cool. You can change out dice and stuff with their abilities. Oh, by the way, if you need to let me try to do these. If you need to kind of do a quick glimpse on it or pause it, there you go, and you can kind of read them. Try to angle a little better. You can kind of read them. You can go on their website and everything too, and it goes and stuff. You can get a look at it, but she has so much stuff going on. She has 1, 2, 3, and then 4 different things. You got 2 positives, a negative, and a positive up here. So you have probability manipulation. It says tip an even number up or down on your die. Like I was saying, you need to stage your characters up, because if you got that and you got an even or an odd number, an even number up or down, you can tap that to get it even better. So it's taken away from 5 to go to 6, but it's really good. 2, 4, and 6. That's pretty good. And then Reality Warp, this is a negative status effect. It says force your opponent to use one of your dice. When I was telling you about Spider-Man, where he's getting 2 attacks that turn, now he doesn't have to use his ability or his effect, but this is really good. Reality Warp, especially when you're playing King of the Hill and you have the most health and Spider-Man's going to attack you next. Do this. It's so good. because he's going to use his combo and he's going to be down a whole die that turn. Conjure is really good. You gain a chosen player's positive status effect or inflict reality warp, which is this one again. Really good. Crackle, spend to add damage for each status effect. If a player concludes their offensive roll phase when attacked, they may spend this token. If spent, add 1 damage, and this is defendable. The black means that damage per positive or negative status effect on their hero board. So this is really good when you're fighting Black Panther or Thor, someone like that who's using a lot of different abilities. And it's just great. All right, Loki. I haven't played Loki yet, but Loki is just like his name and who he is. He's a trickster. Let me tell you that. A freaking trickster is all I gotta say. The art, like I said, is beautiful. Beautiful. Let me try to show you that one. Loki is incredible. He does a lot of different things. He has these... Basically, he has Bag of Tricks, Spellbound, and he has illusions. So I'll go in those a little bit in detail here. Illusion is a unique one for Loki. You can only have 2. You attempt to find Loki among his illusions. Begin the game with 3 illusion cards set aside. A player with this token may spend it without being attacked. Oh, while being attacked. Sorry. If spent, present the 3 illusion cards to your opponent face down in any order. You may suggest which card they should select. The attacker chooses any card, flip over the chosen card, and resolve the effect. This token may be transferred by any means. Oh, may not be, sorry. May not be transferred by any means. So, I will go a little bit in detail of that, because I have the cards. I've watched it be done. I haven't played Loki. I'm going to try to do that next time. Loki's really fun every time I watch him play. So, Loki has these illusion cards. And when you attack, you're like, oh, I want to choose this one. So right there it says Loki prevents 0 incoming defense, gains a Bag of Tricks. Loki may spend another illusion. So you can do illusion again, and you shuffle them up and play them. But if you chose, like, let's say this one, Fell. Loki prevents, and it says infinity incoming damage. Looks like an 8, but they turned it sideways, so I'm going with infinity. So that means you block all of it, which is great. Illusion's really good. And then there's one that's success, and then this is partial success. It says Loki prevents half incoming damage rounded up. Loki may spend another illusion if he wants. So he's just he's a trickster, man. He's a trickster. That's all he is. He's a trickster. So when you play as Loki, get ready for some shenanigans. On top of that, he has Bag of Tricks. It says roll and gain a surprise. During upkeep, a player with this token removes it and rolls 1 die. On 1, lose 1 CP. On 2 to 5, Loki chooses where that player heals to, gains 1 CP, or receives 2 undefendable damage, or on 6, gains 2 CP. So it's great because if you're playing with Loki, you can give someone a Bag of Tricks to help them out, like a partner, or you can make it bad or whatever. So he's pretty fun to play with. And by the way, he's a 4 on the complexity rating. I think he should be about maybe a 3. 4's not bad. He's nowhere near, Doctor Strange. So 4's pretty accurate with what his stuff is. He's really good. Loki's a really good. Oh, this last one is Spellbound. Basically, you get to block out 2 people's attack action on their board. So sometimes you can block out like one like this with their names on it, and they can't even use that. So if they roll that next turn, they get screwed because they don't get to do it. So he's really good. Loki's a really good character. Oh, by the way, there's no best character. If you're playing as Spider-Man or you're playing as Doctor Strange, being the hardest person, you don't get an extra bonus for doing a harder person. Everyone's pretty unique, and they're really good. So don't think because you're getting a harder character, they're going to be better. And the statistics prove that. If you look up on there and you see people's statistics and their, how they're playing, each one's pretty even. You'll have, oh, your guy's really OP. He's got OP powers or whatever. Well, no, not really. You just have to know how to, play against it. Just use your brain. So our last one is Thor. I'll go over him. Thor's very easy. He's like 1 probably. Let's see what he is on this scale here. They put about 3. I don't think that's accurate. I would say 2 at most. Thor is all about punching people, getting some status effects, and rolling with it. He does a lot of different effects. He throws his hammer. I don't want to say its name because I think it's Mjolnir. So if not, oh, by the way, here's the rainbow. Just give me a little love. So anyways, here he's got all these cool little actions on there. Try to put it in the frame so you can read it a little bit, pause it. Go to the website too if you don't have it. He has really good his ultimates for Asgard. He gets gain guard breaker, throw or retrieve Mjolnir up to 4 times and deal 14 damage. He just punches the heck out of you, let me tell you that. So he has guard break. It's a positive status effect. Attacks become undefendable on 1 to 3 if you roll. If a player concludes their offensive roll with an attack, they may spend a die. If it's 1 through 3, it becomes undefendable. That's really good when you have defendable damage. Electrokinesis, to boost abilities or spin to draw 1 card. A player may spend 3 electrokinesis at any time to draw a card. So there's on his actions, there's cards that you use your electrokinesis to help the thunder basically, or you can use them to draw a card if you're in a pinch. You throw his hammer here, and it's his companion, by the way. He's alone with a companion. There's companions in the other series, and I'll try to do a review or talk about it a little later, but it's really good. You can throw or retrieve it. Whenever you throw it, at any time, but you can throw it or retrieve it by discarding a card at any time. An ability tells you to throw or retrieve it. You do not need to discard a card. When you throw Mjolnir, place it on the chosen opponent and deal 1 undefendable damage as an isolated source of undefendable damage. When you retrieve it, place it back on your hero and gain electrokinesis. You cannot throw Mjolnir at an opponent unless it's on your hero board. You cannot retrieve Mjolnir if it is already on your hero board. So in a multiplayer game, if an opponent who has Mjolnir is defeated, retrieve it. So that's pretty good too when you're playing. So those are all the characters in the game right now currently. So let me talk a little bit about some of the things I like about the game, because this is kind of like my review and what I like about it. All the characters are very good. They're very good characters. There's no one that's equally powerful. Is there characters that are not so much not as fun to play with? It depends on your style, really. I like playing each character. If you hand me any of these characters, I'd love to play them. They're great, and I can't wait for Dice Throne and Roxley to come out with another huge batch of Marvel. I hope they make 3 or 4. I hope they make 100 of these, because they're awesome. Is it worth it? $109. Let me double check that figure before I tell you. $109, is it worth it? I think so. I really like it. Is $109 worth it? If you can play the game 20 times, I think that's pretty good. I've already played it 15. I can't wait to play it 100 times more, because it's so random. You're rolling dice, It's awesome. You get ultimates, you're throwing it on Facebook, Snapchat, and you're like, look at this crap, I'm doing really good. And you just have fun with it, If you want to go for ultimate each time and that's all you want to do, great. If you want to do some shenanigans, you can. Look at there. I got 2 nunchucks. You just play fun. So this one's really cool. Remember I was telling you about straights. There's 2, 4, 6, 5, 4, and 2. So let's see if I get a 3. Boop. And you keep kind of roll it. Boop. I got another 6. But let's say I had another die and I could change the value. I'll just change that to a 3. I wouldn't use my card personally for that, but someone might want to do a large straight on that roll, or they have the card and they need it desperately. There you go. So there's a lot of different random possibilities. That's what's great about dice games. A lot of people give them, they're like, oh, this looks childish or whatever. No, it's very fun. It's a very fun game. Each card and every character is different. The art's beautiful in it. Mechanics are really good. I haven't found any kind of issue really. That house rule couldn't fix. So some people, they get a little more excited about the game, and they'll follow rules verbatim. Just make a house rule, If something is having an issue or it's getting too crazy, make a house rule. So, if I rated it out of 10, I'd give it probably a 9.5, because it's excellent. It's one of my favorite games. Is it like top tier, like Gloomhaven, where you get a 1,000 different hours into it? No, but it's a great casual gameplay, and it's really, really fun. It's not a lot of strategy. There's a little bit, but it's not too complicated to get rid of, to work. As you can see, they did really well with the case, everything, all the components are nice. That's why I'm looking at 9.5. I think the value's there for it. There's a lot of great little things in it. Everything's themed. They did really well. Everything's balanced. They did really well with that. If you follow Roxley or you go on their website or Dice Throne, you can actually get the revised rules so you can do it. Their website's really good. That's what I was looking at on my tablet here. It's a really good website. They're really nice. It talks about Kickstarters, components, downloads. If you lose your stuff, you can get it. You can get custom backs for it. You can probably get play mats and stuff too. There's so much things you can do. Like I said, they have 2 other seasons, and I'll be doing a review of them. They're on my shelf here. I've got a huge wall of games that I've played and everything, but they're on the shelf. I haven't played them much. I played them a little bit. The Shadow Thief is very nasty, so if you play that guy, get ready, because he's very cunning. I lost that way to my cousin, and it hurt. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll have some more reviews here soon. I'll be talking a little bit about Kickstarter. That one's going to be more on the computer. I wanted to kind of show you in person. I try to keep these a little short. There's so much in this. It took us I think we're at 40 minutes on this thing. So I appreciate you watching all the way through it. Hopefully those tips and tricks help you. Hopefully I went over the rules well enough so you can see it. It's so easy. I mean, just get the rule book out and just read them. They're on a card, for Pete's sakes. You just get it and you'll read through it and you'll have it. But they're very easy. If you've played Magic, it's going to be like a breeze to you, because it's basically the same format as Magic and everything. If you have a question, you can always go on to their Facebook, their Discord, ask that question, and someone will answer it almost like that. And it shows you cool things, and people talk about different mechanics and stuff like that. If you want to be one of those punks that look for infinite cycles, you probably could do it. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.